Hey, good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Kaylin. Happy Thursday.
Raise my computer a little bit so you're not looking at my, long. Look at this. And then I get this little lump up here. I mean, this is, oh, jeez, I'm gonna get a
I
breath.
loved your picture of you and Patch. I was like Patch's bangs and then Kaylin's bangs.
Yeah. He had his regular vet appointment yesterday. So it's like curbside delivery. I pull up in front of the vet's office. They come out and get him, because it was for his annual shots and stuff. And so the vet trimmed him. So
Oh, nice. Did you say, could you trim me quick too?
I know I should have.
Oh, that's funny. Actually, it is nice to know that a lot of the businesses have made arrangements, right?
Yeah.
So your pet can still get cared for,
Right.
and we just deliver things differently.
Yeah, it was interesting too because they brought out their own leash. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I took off his leash and they use their own. So yeah, they've got things figured out. It's kind of amazing to me how creative and innovative businesses in all types of businesses have had to be and have really gone above and beyond to try to make things work because this is not business as normal. And it's really interesting and kind of fun to see the innovation. And it'll be interesting to see how much of that innovation will be part of their business model going forward.
Yes, that it won't go back to the way it was. It will probably
Right.
alter going forward.
Right, exactly. Especially there's going to be, hesitation by a certain segment of the population not to go to a crowded restaurant. So
Right.
restaurants may continue that had never done the carry out, takeout, delivery thing may continue to do that. I don't know, but I'm probably speaking out of turn. I'm not a restaurant person, but I can see some of this being part of a business model going forward.
Yeah, agreed. And I even think the way that, and we've talked about our personal businesses, but I think we're going to be making some alterations to people are like, oh no, and now I feel more comfortable even doing a Zoom meeting with me to go over your finances rather than always coming in. And it's sometimes more convenient. And some people at first were like, man, I don't know if I like that. And now you're like, well, I've been doing it now for a few months and it doesn't feel as awkward.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that people are going to be more comfortable with that and just understand that's just going to be, the nature of the business going forward. And, it's kind of interesting to see the pictures of, I've been on the seller side of closings, I haven't been on the buyer side. So these drive-by closings in the car are kind of funny to see. So I hope that doesn't continue, but,
yeah, it's not as personal. So I actually I try to show up if it works, just at least say hi to my clients while they're sitting in their car. And some people have never done it before. So, just going through things, but it's great. I mean, for the attorneys that we use, at least we're still going over things. Like you said, I hope that doesn't stay and it's not the norm because
yeah.
it's much nicer to sit around the table and kind of have a celebration, but at least we're
it
still
is.
able to do it.
It is a celebratory time is to, purchase a property and you want to be able to have a nice, interaction during that time rather than, pull up in your car and can I have fries with
Hey, how you doing?
I don't know. But, all these new terms that we're dealing with too, people are saying Zoom a lot more. They're saying social distancing and all this kind of stuff. But forbearance has been a word that's come up a lot.
It is a word that's come up a lot. And there's so much, Caitlin, that goes with it. And what's really sad so first of all, explanation maybe of
Right.
I just think it's super, super, super important that people understand what it is and what the potential down the line, what that looks like. So forbearance is not forgiveness. Forbearance is that you don't have the whole payment or a portion of the payment for a specified period of time.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it's going away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I read this really great example of somebody who was like, oh, well, I could make my payment, but I'm going to choose to, because, you know, a lot of people are unemployment. I mean, the unemployment numbers just came out again, and there's a lot of people on that list right now.
Right.
But what this looks like is, say your payment is $1,500 a month, and you go into, you know, your forbearance. So then 180 days later, maybe you're back at work. And so now you go out of that forbearance, you're into your payment. And now your payment is $3,000 a month, because you're now out of forbearance, and that payment does not go away.
Okay.
So each servicer is going to.
So each servicer is going to have a different policy on that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
But the policy isn't different enough that it says you're not going to make your payment.
Well, right.
So the policy could be, okay, so your payment was $1,500. Now we're going to tack on $700 a month to your normal payment, because remember, in your payment is also your escrow payments, your taxes, your insurance. I mean, there's a lot of things that go in there. And so if you're one of those people, when you bought your house, you're like, no, I feel completely comfortable with a $1,500 a month payment. But now you're coming out of an employment, or, you know, or furlough or whatever, and you're headed into making your payments. Now your payments, you know, $700 more than that. And you're like, no, that's what I don't like. So I think that you're like, I would have rather paid my $1,500 a month, and maybe only made my minimum credit card payment instead of paying extra. I mean, you know, thinking about things differently. And the thing is too, that if anybody right now, if you are looking at buying a house, if you are looking at refinancing, if you have even called to ask about forbearance, it goes on your record that you have inquired about forbearance.
Okay.
I personally have not had that done yet, but I know it affects, like, I don't know for sure, but it might create the inability for you to refinance.
Okay.
Right? If you decide to for sure go into forbearance, it is looked at, and we're not on the other side of this yet.
Okay.
But word right now is if you went into forbearance, the ability to refinance or purchase a house for at least a year is gone. It's kind of like, it's not foreclosure, but it hit on your, it's going to show up.
It's going to ding. It's going to ding you a little bit. Okay. So let's say in 3 years, do you think at that point then it's going to be enough past that you can do the refines, purchase, whatever?
Yes, but they're probably going to look to make sure that you have now paid. I mean, the thing is,
caught up.
How long? Because the forbearance is, I mean, some people could almost go a year with this different payment. So think about, we as a finance person, if you're looking to do something, we're going to be like, are you out of forbearance? And when does that time clock stop? Does it stop after you've made all your payments and now you're out of it? Now you have a year after that? I mean, I just don't know the answer to that, but it's definitely a time period after that has all happened.
Okay, great to know. So yeah, so it sounds like a good idea at the time. It sounds like a great thing to help you out in the short term, but what does it do for you in the long term? So that's really something to take a serious look at. I mean, if it's something where you're going to be in that house for another 20 years, you know, but who can know that really?
Right. And I would say too, that the really big thing is there's some people buying a house, know that we're asking about people's jobs right up until the day that we close is, if you know that you're going to go on furlough or something, don't be messing around with your lender saying, oh, everything is good. No. And then, so in your world, for realtors, everything, our world is super important, just like you're super important to us. You can't sell as many houses if you don't have the financing part behind people being able to buy.
Right.
So one of, just like in any industry, right, there are people that are just trying to do a deal, right?
Right.
So in other places, not in Ames, Iowa, but in other places, there has been some realtors like, just buy the house
Mm.
And then we know you're going to be on furlough, but just buy the house and then you can ask for forbearance.
Oh gosh.
Really, really, really bad, because also on the end of that is all the repercussions of Fannie, Freddie, and the cost and everything like that. And nobody wants our banking system to,
Right. Right.
fold. And
I'm
doing
still
that kind of stuff is, yep. Um, doing all that kind of stuff is a high patch.
he was he was pestering me, so I had to grab him. So sorry.
Okay. Anyway, just all that stuff is really, I mean, be truthful. You don't want to be somebody who's also committing mortgage fraud by going into something and now you ask for, and they're like, oh, you knew that and you went into this transaction. Not good. And it's not worth a transaction to anybody to put somebody in a bad position.
Right. Exactly. Yep. There's just repercussions all over the place. So yeah. See, okay, this is my problem. He jumps up onto my desk. So there it is. See?
Hello, Patch.
I don't know. I've created a monster.
He's so cute. He's gonna have withdrawals when you actually.
Oh, I know. It's terrible.
Withdrawals. We're gonna have some pet
pet therapy sessions. Yeah, I think so. Gosh. Yeah. But anyway, so well, that's great information. And if anybody has any questions about forbearance, reach out, because maybe making some changes, other changes in your financial picture and your budget might be a better option for you long term than a forbearance.
Yes, and I would say home equity lines of credit are a little bit different right now, but I mean, sometimes there's an option to get you through this short period of time that maybe is not forbearance, but still helps you through it.
Okay.
But keeps things clean. So if you have a ton of equity in your house, or I mean, I think there's maybe some things to walk through, or maybe a refinance. I mean, well, you need to be working at the moment to do a refinance, but I mean, I think maybe thinking through some other things as forbearance is the very last option for you is really good.
Okay, super. Well, you have a great rest of the day, Lisa, and getting out in that sunshine. I'm going to try and do that myself and enjoy the weekend, because it looks like there might be a little bit of rain, but I think there's going to be warmer temperatures, which I'm so excited about.
Me too. Woo!
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.